This is part 2 of my nightmare experience with my in-laws. So at Thanksgiving is when everything really blew up. 8 years of horrible mistreatment, we had finally had enough. And it honestly even happened before we got down to Thanksgiving. We were trying to figure out where we were going to be staying. And we were texting my mother-in-law, or my husband was texting her and was like, hey, like, is it okay if we stay with you guys? And she just didn't text us back for a long time. Finally, my husband had to follow up and was like, so can we stay at your guys' house? And she finally texted back and was like, you know what, like with things going on with Thanksgiving, I think it's just going to be too hard to have you guys at the house. So can you stay somewhere else? And then after Thanksgiving, then you can stay with us. Which we were just like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. Like we have 3 small kids. We're not going to be moving them from house to house. Like we're just going to stay at one house. And so if staying at your house for Thanksgiving doesn't work, we're just going to go stay at our sister-in-law's house. Which was totally fine. Like, again, if she doesn't want us at the house, that's totally within her right to not want us at the house. It was a little bit inconvenient because it was like an hour, maybe 45 minutes away from where Thanksgiving was going to be hosted. But it was just like, no, whatever, at the end of the day. But the whole point of that is she knew we were coming down for Thanksgiving. And we were staying at her daughter's, my sister-in-law's house. On the day of Thanksgiving, we go and we spend the morning with my side of the family because they were just down the street from her house, which is where Thanksgiving was going to be hosted. My family starts Thanksgiving earlier than her family. So I was like, you know what, why don't we like pop by, say hi before we have to head over there. So we had left for Thanksgiving a little bit earlier and we were going to meet my sister-in-law there. It was going to be great. Anyway, so we get done at my side of the family's Thanksgiving and we show up to my husband's side, my in-laws, right at the time, I think maybe 5 or 10 minutes later than we were supposed to show up. We walk in and Thanksgiving was over. Like they had started Thanksgiving without us. And again, like I understand, like something's changed, plans change. Like it doesn't all center around us, which I completely understand, but it was, again, this lying and manipulation where it's just like, oh, we didn't know you guys were coming down for Thanksgiving. We're like, ma'am, you knew. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, they were all sitting down and like they had started, like Thanksgiving was over. But also then there were like still 2 seats at the dinner table that were set aside for us. So she did know that we were coming. Anyway, so we just like eat Thanksgiving dinner by ourselves while the rest of my husband's siblings are downstairs hanging out. And it was so awkward. Anyways, the rest of that day is really awkward. I feel like we're walking on eggshells. It's just not a fun time. Nobody is necessarily talking to me either, which is not unusual. They never really talk to me anyways, but it just wasn't a fun time. So anyways, there's a couple other things that happened that day that were really awkward, but it was just overall really uncomfortable day. I felt like I was walking on eggshells the entire day. It was not a fun time. But towards the end of the day, because my husband and I were going to be there the whole weekend, and our kids nor us had seen anybody for like 6 months since we had moved out of state, we were like, let's plan some more family things to do because we would love to spend time with you guys. Not a crazy thing, you would think. So we're talking about things to do, and then my brother-in-law looks up at my mother-in-law and he says, hey, blank, what are you doing X and X day? And immediately she goes, why? What do you need? Seriously, all of us were like, what the heck is going on? Like, we just wanted to invite you. We were going to go play basketball. I think that's what we were planning on. Like, are you guys free that day? And, I guess, maybe whatever. And that was just like happening the entire weekend. Even when we went to go play basketball, it was so awkward. And we were like, what the fetch is going on? Like, she's not even talking to us. It feels like they're forced to be here. It feels like they're mad at us for some reason. They're only here for an hour and they're like cleaning up after us before we're even leaving. We're going to a movie and they don't come. My in-laws don't come. The rest of the siblings come. So besides seeing them for Thanksgiving, which we had missed, and then a very awkward hour of playing basketball. I don't even know if it was a full hour where they showed up. We had not seen them at all. And my husband was like kind of starting to get a little bit offended because he was like, what the heck? Like, why don't my parents want to see me? And then finally, right before we're about to go, like seriously, we are packing up the car. We're about to leave to Idaho in like 30 minutes. My mother-in-law texts my husband and is like, hey, like we'd love to have you guys over to the house before you go and just like sit and hang out with you guys. My husband was so relieved. He was like, oh my gosh, like thank goodness, like I'm excited to see them. So we're like, okay, cool, yeah, we're gonna be there around this time. I can't remember what the conversation was, but like, is that gonna work for you? And we had gotten no text back on this confirmation of plans to see them. And an hour or two later, I can't remember how long it was, go by, and we still haven't heard back from them. We're now in the car on our way home. And I can't remember if my husband had like texted them again and was like, hey, so like, are we gonna see you or not? Like, this is, oh, I think he did. Yeah. He's like, we're getting closer. Like, we're on the freeway. Like, we're headed home. Are we gonna stop by or not? And then finally, like, when we are in the town, we're passing the town that they're staying at, she finally texts back and is like, hey, can I just like meet you guys on the side of the freeway? We have a missionary farewell, which is another Mormon thing. It wasn't even for anyone in their family. It was just probably some random person in their ward that they felt like they wanted to be present at. They wanted to show their face so that they can look good. She's like, we're at a mission farewell. Can I just meet you guys on the side of the freeway? Your son that you haven't seen in 6 months, your grandkids that you haven't seen in like 6 months, you just want to meet them you want us to meet you on the side of the freeway? So we were like, yeah, heck no, we're not gonna do that. We'll just see you another time. And then she texts back and is like, hey, we'll see you guys at Christmas. And so that's when me and my husband were like, yeah, no, we're not doing this again. Like, you really think that we're gonna be coming down for Christmas after this horrible experience? Like, no, we need to have a conversation about what is gonna happen, because we're not gonna continue to travel down for just shitty experiences with our family. That's just not worth it. So that goes into, I guess what I'll leave for part 3 is when my husband sent a text, which led into a big phone call where so much I don't know, where so much just shit got put out in the phone call of what my in-laws actually felt about us, what they felt about the rest of the siblings, just all this super fun stuff.